It was already the middle of the school year, and still I never really understood what being in the first grade was all about. For one thing, there were twice as many students in our class compared to when we were in preschool. Another thing was how our homeroom teacher used this special stamp every day to reward us for our good behavior. Getting a stamp in the shape of a star that said, "Very good," became an everyday thing toward the end of the final period. Everyone would flock to our teacher's table and ask her who was getting that special star on the back of their hand. I had never gotten a stamp on my hand since school started. It never really bothered me because I didn't understand what it was for anyway. I was always just seated comfortably at the back row, concentrating on my coloring books. They usually asked the tallest ones to sit there because we could see everything that the teachers wrote on the blackboard. It was always the same old ones who got their stamps. They would always volunteer to erase the chalk writing on the blackboard to prepare it for the next period. They would often be seen helping out, whether it was sweeping the floor or dusting the bookshelves. That day, the well-behaved ones weren't in class because they got called for a special task at the principal's office. It was 10 minutes before the school bell rang, and only the rowdy ones and the quiet ones were left in the classroom, along with our teacher. The stamp was usually awarded right on the spot. So everyone realized that with the well-behaved ones gone, it minimized the competition for the rest of us. This got them all excited. The rowdy ones flocked to our teacher's desk and were all asking her who was getting the stamp for that day. Some of them even begged her to give them the star. I was still seated at the back row. From there, I saw the rest of the quiet ones in their seats, stuffing their books and notebooks in their backpacks. They were even chit-chatting with one another, which was new. Straight ahead, I locked eyes with my teacher, who was already feeling agitated, having all the rowdy students crowding her and coaxing her to reveal who was getting the stamp. I then realized what was bound to happen next. At that moment, it was like I had read my teacher's mind. She stood up and started eyeing what I was doing. I knew that if I sat still and focused on my coloring book, I would come home with a star for the very first time. A few seconds later, I looked up to see my teacher standing in front of me. She bent down to take my arm and pressed her stamp onto the back of my hand. And there it was, finally, my first star that I had learned how to catch.